to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this luxury autumn family home. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up in the gallery now. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I will also have a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download the build that way. So like I said, this is called a luxury autumn family home. I built this on a 40 by 30 lot, and this one is placed in Willow Creek. I believe it's the lot that's opposite the Goth's household. And in terms of the details about the build, it has 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, and then it came in at 248,313 simoleons. And then for the packs used, I used Seasons, Cats and Dogs, City Living and Get Together. And then for the game packs, I used Jungle Adventure and Parenthood, and for the stuff packs, I used Laundry Day. So, you know, that is still a fair amount of packs, but it's definitely much less than what I normally do. I feel like I'm getting much better these days at like reducing, you know, the amount of packs I use in my builds, kind of thinking about what items I'm actually using to, you know, reduce the unnecessary ones. So I feel like I'm getting better at that. So, you know, you will notice in the last couple of builds how a lot of them have been much less packs used than my, you know, past ones. So I'm actually really happy how this build turned out. As you know, I love to do these kind of family homes, and autumn is my favourite season as well. So when you put those together, it's like a dream build for me. So that's what we're doing here today. And it didn't take me long at all to do. This took me 1 hour and 10 minutes, which is no time at all. But again, it's when I do things that I've done a lot in the past, it doesn't really take a long time, so that's why. So this has a couple of kids' rooms in it. It has one which is for a teen girl. It also has like 2 twin boys rooms, I was thinking as I was making it, and also a toddler room as well. And then there's a couple of other neutral rooms. I think there's actually 2 neutral rooms, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and the master room, I think that's right. And yeah, so there's also a garage area, as you can see there on the left. And in that, like normal, I do change that into a gym. And within that, I did go ahead and put a laundry room in. As you know, sometimes if I do put laundry in my builds, I don't always do it. If I do, I normally just add like a little section into the garage area. And because I know some people don't like to play with their laundry, so sometimes I'll do a build without it and sometimes I do. And if you do want to download a build and I did use laundry in it and you don't have that pack or you don't want to play with it, then that's totally fine, because you can just remove, you know, the washing machines. Or if you do have the pack but you don't want to play with it, then you could just leave the hampers in, and that could be like a little decoration as well. So I'm, as you can see, doing this in summer. I do this a lot, and I've mentioned this a lot when I do builds that are for a different season, like this one is today, is to actually build them in summer, because everything's more neutral in terms of landscaping, and all the colours are kind of more neutral as well. So I do like to do it that way, because, like, you know, I'm doing the landscaping, I can actually see like the true colours of the plants and stuff. And it also means once the autumn season is past in your game, you can still use this house without it, you know, being looking a bit odd in some places. Because a good example is sometimes when you build in winter, when the snow is covered on the ground, you can't really see the terrain paint. And I think I've seen this in the past where I can't remember if it was a build I downloaded from the gallery or it was maybe one myself, where I didn't do all the all the terrain paint, and when you know, the snow melted, it was like blank. So that's just an example of why I do it in summer, so I can actually see what I'm doing. And also just some other things to point out is that tomorrow there will be a new update for console, so make sure to stay tuned for that, because I will also be porting over a load more builds to the console library. So if you do play with console, then make sure you check that out, because I will have a bunch more builds coming, and I will be making a video about that so you can see which builds in particular are coming. And within that video, I kind of give you a bit of details, you know, about each build, so you can kind of see which one you like the best, just to kind of make it a little bit easier for you instead of, like, you know, sorting through them all. Because if you don't know, on the gallery, on the console, I keep saying the console gallery, I mean the console library, it doesn't actually say the builds are made by me, so I feel like those videos are a little helpful to some people. So that will be coming tomorrow, and it is actually a big number of builds coming as well. And also, I've had a lot of confusion recently with people telling me, like, what do I mean by builds coming to console and like the console gallery? People thinking that I'm hinting that a console gallery version is coming or something. Well, what I mean is that when you go onto the console version of the game, and it's actually just like the gallery icon, like in the top right, you can actually see it on the screen here. It's the same like location on the console user interface, and when you click on it, it takes you into the library. So it's similar to the actual library on the Sims 4 PC as well. So you have, like, you know, the actual kind of online bit, and you have your kind of library of downloads. It's basically the same thing as that. So within that, you'll have, you know, some Maxis kind of lots, and also lots of users builds that have been ported over, including mine. So I think there are 15 of mine. And I was mentioning this the other day that I do actually have an Instagram story highlight. If you want to go back and see that, and I do have details of all the builds there if you just want to see something quick. And like I said, I will be making a video about the new ones tomorrow, and I also do have videos for the other sets that I have over there as well. And also the builds that will be coming are ones that you've seen on the channel before and that are already available on the actual kind of, you know, PC gallery, and that have speed builds on them. I do actually have one exclusive one though that was in the last update, which was the Solani family home, and that one you can't get on PC, that's just only on console. I may bring it to PC though in the future if you really want to see that though. So as you can see, we're now working on the interior. There wasn't really that much going on with the exterior in terms of outdoor furnishing, because this is, you know, very kind of autumn themed. You're not going to be spending as much time, you know, sunbathing and stuff like that, so I didn't do too much in terms of activities outside, but I do want to put a few things in, because like I was saying earlier with the landscaping about, you know, building this in summer, is that you can still use the house in other seasons as well. You know, it will look a little bit, you know, autumnal within other seasons because of the colours of the exterior, but you know, it still will function normally. And talking about function, I did go ahead and playtest this build as well. I don't always mention that, but I do playtest my builds. I'm not going to kind of go into it, you know, again, because I have mentioned it in the last couple of videos about how I playtest and stuff like that, and my decisions behind if I playtest everything or not, because in mansions everything's more spread out, and homes like this, things can, you know, be a little bit more cramped and have some doubts about some things. So, you know, I do playtest these smaller homes a little bit more. So we're just working on putting a few decorations around this living room area here. It is a fairly decent size, there's lots of seating around here. And also in terms of the colour scheme today, I have had like a few comments recently about kind of trying to do more kind of consistent themes in my builds in terms of colour schemes, because I do have a tendency to kind of choose a colour scheme for the build, but when it comes to the bedrooms, I then, you know, switch things up and do like really colourful rooms within like a very neutral looking home. So although some people really, you know, like that, and I have asked this a few videos ago as well, and I did get a lot of mixed opinions. So I suppose this is one where it's more consistent throughout all of them, and maybe, you know, the next one I will do a little bit more kind of where bedrooms are a little bit more sort of colourful and things like that, just to kind of keep a balance, similar to what I do with kids rooms and neutral rooms. As you know, I do much prefer to do neutral rooms in my builds, but I know that's not can't speak. I know that's not for everyone. So every once in a while, like today, I will go ahead and put some kids rooms in the build. So now we're just working on one of the bathrooms. Like I said, there are 5 of them. I think I'll just go ahead and show you 2 today because, as I say a lot, all of the bathrooms within a particular build, I do the same to kind of keep a theme going on throughout them. So you don't need to see the same bathroom, you know, 5 times. So I just showed you 2 of them, which were kind of just slightly different in terms of size. And then here we're just working on the study as well. This is an example of one area that I play tested, because as I was building this, I was having a little bit of doubt if Sims could actually walk through those 2 armchairs there to get to the desk. But it was actually totally fine, but I just wanted to play test that, as I did have a bit of doubt, you know, about it, but I'm glad it all worked out. And in case you're wondering what that is all about with the 2 armchairs facing the desk, I know I do it a lot, and it's kind of just to sort of look like more of like a meeting setting. So, you know, somebody's there sitting in the armchairs basically. I don't even know how else to describe it, or, you know, somebody's just sitting there with your sim while they're doing their work or something on the computer. So now we're just working on this room here, which is the garage. As you can see, this has a few gym equipment items in it, along with the laundry section as well. So I was actually having a bit of trouble as well, I forgot to mention this, with the kitchen, because, you know, it was a fairly big room, but I did also want to have like a nice big dining table and a bar area as well for like entertainment stuff. So I couldn't really fit that in, so one of the hallways leading to the front door, kind of through to the back where the garage is, well, to the side I suppose, I did go ahead and make that into a dining room as well. So you've got like a sort of like a family breakfast table within the actual kitchen area, and then there's also an archway through into another room where there's a more formal setting for the dining room, and also a little bar there as well. So this room right here I would probably say is the master room. It is fairly neutral, but it does have an ensuite bathroom on it, so I would say that this would probably be the master one. It doesn't really have any personality to it though, so it is, you know, fairly neutral. And also as well, I have actually had a few comments on Instagram recently from a few people about doing like a really personalised home. So like actually come up with a family and build a house for that, because I know I do like kids rooms here and there, but actually doing a full set out family for a particular build, which I feel like is a, you know, nice change to do, so I will try and do that at some point. But it's just kind of, you know, I don't know if that's going to be very useful for everyone who may not have those type of Sims within their household. So I might, you know, think about that a little bit more, but hopefully I'll get around to that soon. And also just talking about Instagram, I do get a lot of comments over there and questions within, direct messages and stuff as well. And I will say that other kind of social medias that I use are probably best to kind of contact me on. So I would say that Twitter is probably better, or YouTube comments, because, well, you can definitely still, reply and send comments and stuff on Instagram, but I do get a lot of notifications on Instagram with likes and things. And because all those kind of notifications are in the same place, I do sometimes miss them here and there. So if you do have like a question, I would probably say, well, actually the ultimate place is probably the YouTube comments, because I do make sure I reply to every single comment, or read every single comment, give it a heart or something like that, kind of just acknowledge every YouTube comment I get. So if you do have a question, I'd probably say YouTube is the best place, or Twitter, or, just forget everything and just, keep to Instagram if you want to. So that room we were just working on was another kind of neutral room, I would say. Wasn't really too much in terms of personality going on with that room. And this one here, I would say, is a teen girls room. Again, it doesn't have to be, but it's just what I had in mind for building this room here. So it's just like a purple theme, which I do a lot in builds actually, but it does really go well with the autumnal theme, I would say. So, I'm still kind of incorporating colour here and there, but I'm still kind of going with that, consistent theme in terms of a colour scheme throughout the entire build. And yeah, so we're pretty much finished with the build here. We've just got a few more finishing touches to do before we head on to the screenshots. So I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of it. If you have any more suggestions for other builds or anything else that you want to see on the channel next, that would be really helpful to hear. You can go ahead and download this build from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!